Hi, I'm Cody Dertow with Edward Jones Investments. So we covered a bit on general retirement accounts. I mentioned Roth and traditional IRAs, SEP IRAs, the 401k, so on and so forth. But another common question I get is, Cody, how do I save money or invest money that's not in a retirement account? And the answer to that is what's known as a general brokerage account. Now, there are a few variances to that, but there are also goal-based accounts that matter in that regard as well. So let's say I have a family of 4, mom and dad and 2 kids, and maybe dad has an IRA and mom has an IRA, but we need to figure out what to do for the kids. And let's say child number 1 is 10 and child number 2 is 7. And dad says to me, I want to send both of them to college, but I also want to have the ability or the flexibility to buy them a car when they turn 17. We can do that. In regards to sending those kids to college, particularly in the state of Arkansas, we have what's known as a 529 plan. And that allows the investor or the owner of that account, in this case dad, to invest money for his children to use for future educational expenses, whether that might be a trade school or a college, university, etc. And when dad invests the money into that account, he receives a tax credit from the state of Arkansas for doing that. Now, generally speaking, the investments in those accounts are going to be mutual funds. And again, we'll talk you through that to understand really how those work and why that might be a good option for you and your family. But when it comes to types of accounts, again, in which I can invest money for various goals, that would be an example of a very specific goal and a very specific type of account in which to do that in. Let's say that same father wants to invest money again to buy his son a car when he turns 17. Well, one of the easiest ways to do that, again, would be to have a general brokerage account, which is a type of investment account that we can discuss that allows you to choose from all of the types of investments that are in the market: stocks, mutual funds, bonds, so on and so forth. And so my job is to help you determine your comfort level with risk, how moderate or conservative or aggressive with investments that you might be thanks to your own personality, and help you determine the mix of those investment products that are right to help you reach that goal. So if we have 7 years until the son needs to have that car or they want to purchase that car, then we'll discuss what appropriate investments would be to target the given goal that you have, whether that might be, say, a given dollar amount, and we'll build a plan around that, or again, that time frame to be able to purchase that car. And those two things will come together during our discussion. There are other types of accounts in the investment universe that you can use as well. Sometimes people don't realize that we also help people with their estates and their trusts. And so you have estate and trust investment accounts as well that speak to, again, those specific goals for that person or that family. So grandma, for example, might have a trust, and the money that she desires to leave behind to family might be in a trust investment account. And generally speaking, there will be specific rules about how that account is to be invested, what types of investments are okay and which should be avoided, and eventually where that money is to be directed once she passes and the inheritance to her estate or her trust comes into play. And again, we might talk about mutual funds or stocks or bonds or CDs or other products within that account to help reach its stated goal. But again, we're going to follow the desires of that client based on our guidance as well to help them get to that point, whatever that point or goal might be. And so when you're thinking about the money that you have available, whether you've saved money in the bank, whether you have a high earning job or a mix of both, or you've inherited money, or maybe you sold a house or sold a business or sold some land, there are options for you to use that money. You might want to do an IRA and have a brokerage account. You might want to start that SEP IRA and have a brokerage account. You might just want to have a brokerage account because that's what's important to you. The point of the matter is that regardless of what goal you have in mind, as long as we can sit down and have an open and honest and productive conversation, we will find a route to make things happen for you to help you reach the goal that you have in mind. And the most important part of a productive and successful partnership is honesty. And if we can be honest about where you're starting from and what you have to work with and where you desire to wind up, I can help you. If any of these items are on your to-do list, or you would like to discuss your strategy and see what changes need to be made, you're welcome to reach out to me at 501-812-4663, and we'll schedule a free, no pressure consultation to discuss your family's investment and financial goals and how we can best partner to deliver the results that you deserve.